Sir, I would say the ICE officers and police officers being attacked is not political theater. The National Guard and Marines,
just yes or no. Just yes or no.
the National Guard and Marines have the full authority to protect federal ICE agents.
Yes or
federal
no.
agents and
Just
federal buildings.
can you just say yes or no? This isn't Fox anymore. Just yes or no.
They're there to protect federal agents and federal.
Another BS answer.
Welcome back to the podcast. What we saw unfold in the House Armed Services Committee hearing wasn't a serious discussion on national defense or fiscal accountability. It was an absolute masterclass in partisan desperation. Representative Salud Carbajal completely threw out legislative decorum, launching a series of aggressive yes or no traps and demanding that Secretary Pete Hegseth resign right there on the spot. From a conservative Republican perspective, the institutional left is in complete panic because they are facing an administration determined to shatter the status quo, unleash American energy dominance, and demand absolute efficiency from the Pentagon. Instead of debating actual policy metrics or the defense budget, Carbajal resorted to cheap theatrical buzzwords, even dropping references to Hollywood movies to deflect from the lack of a real substantive argument. When Hegseth refused to bend the knee to Carbajal's rigid, loaded questions and confidently articulated the administration's strategic goals, Carbajal completely lost his composure. He claimed the secretary wasn't worthy of his attention, a petulant display that perfectly exposes the left's weakness. They can't win on the facts, so they try to screen their way to a social media soundbite. Hegseth stood like a rock. If you want honest conservative analysis that exposes the mainstream media spin and holds Washington elites accountable, hit that like button and subscribe right now.
As a gentleman from California, Mr. Carbajal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It shouldn't come as no surprise that I have serious concerns with both the deployment of the National Guard and the Marines to Los Angeles. I served in the Marine Corps. We are trained to be war fighters, not for crowd control. Everyone here should be alarmed that the president has sent armed forces into a city against the wishes of a governor and mayor. I am concerned this administration is purposely escalating the situation with this step and politicizing our armed forces in the process. Let's call it for what it is. It's political theater. Hegseth, are the Marines in Los Angeles ordered to protect property by any means necessary?
Sir, I would say the ICE officers and police officers being attacked is not political theater. The National Guard and Marines.
Just yes or no. Just yes or no.
The National Guard and Marines have the full authority to protect federal ICE agents.
Yes or no.
Agents and federal buildings.
Can you just say yes or no? This isn't Fox anymore. Just yes or no.
They're there to protect federal agents and federal.
Another BS answer. Under the SRUF, the use of force, are Marines allowed to fire warning shots?
No.
Now that's more like it. Isn't that easy? Well, I'm going to beat this drum because you refuse to take responsibility. Will you take responsibility for having made a mistake? Not to mention many people would say break the law in participating in the Signal group chat that included a journalist, your wife, your brother, where classified information was shared.
Sir, every way I communicate is authorized. Every way I communicate.
Okay, if you want to say that. I have called for your resignation. I didn't think you were qualified before your confirmation, and you have done nothing to inspire confidence in your ability to lead competently. You broke the law in sharing classified information, and in doing so, endangered the lives of our service members that you are responsible for. Your inability to hold yourself accountable makes you incapable to lead. This alone makes you unfit to be the Secretary of Defense. Secretary, do you think the United States should continue supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russia, a nation that is hostile towards the United States?
Well, as you know, sir, President Trump is committed to peace.
No, I just want yes or no answers.
The
Today,
United States has spent billions of dollars.
yes or no?
supporting
Yes or
Ukraine
no?
Over years.
Just yes or no. Can I get a yes or no out of you?
We continue to send
Come on.
residential drawdown
It's that
authorities.
easy. Kindergartners
Ukraine.
could give me a yes or no. Yes or no.
Yes, we support peace in Ukraine.
Come on. Is this really leadership? You're an embarrassment to the United States. If Russia invades NATO allies, are you going to recommend to the president that we fulfill our Article 5 obligations?
Well, Russia has not invaded NATO allies.
No.
Thankfully, President Trump has invigorated the NATO
No.
alliance.
I reclaim my time. Yes or no? It's that simple.
There's Article 5 in NATO, which we recognize.
So is the answer yes or no?
That's what Article 5 is, yes.
Good. I'm glad you brought yourself to saying yes. Do you think political allegiance to Trump is a requirement for serving our nation, either in uniform or a civilian in the department?
I'm incredibly proud, as are millions of Americans.
No.
Trump.
Not today, Hegseth. Yes or no?
Congressman, you know what a silly question that is.
But it's silly enough
fidelity
to
to the
warrant a
Constitution.
very straightforward answer. Yes or no?
We all support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
You know
We're
what?
proud to
I'm not going to
President
waste
Trump.
my time anymore. You're not worthy of my attention or my questions. You're an embarrassment to this country. You're unfit to lead. And there's been bipartisan members of Congress that have called for your resignation. You should just get the hell out and let somebody competently lead this department.
Mr. Chairman, do we not have any decorum in here?
Thank you very much. I yield my time.
Gentleman yields back. And I would urge everybody to remember and maintain a decorum suitable for this chamber with their further comments.
Unbelievable. Let's talk about what just happened, because that exchange is the perfect encapsulation of why regular Americans are completely fed up with typical Washington theater. Salud Carbajal walked into this committee room hoping to manufacture a dramatic viral clip to appease his progressive base, and instead he ran headfirst into an unwavering wall of conservative confidence named Pete Hegseth. Let's dissect how weak the opposition's entire premise was. Carbajal starts off his time trying to sound clever, throwing out random references to Pulp Fiction and acting as though he's running a grand interrogation. But when he pivots to the actual defense strategy, he relies on loaded, binary questions designed solely to trap the secretary. He demands yes or no answers on deeply complex geopolitical and energy realities. Since when is a defense secretary required to validate a congressman's heavily biased partisan framing? Hegseth did exactly what a strong conservative leader is supposed to do. He rejected the premise of the trap. He took the opportunity to explain the objective reality of American energy dominance and the strategic necessity of keeping our adversaries on their heels. When Carbajal couldn't get his scripted soundbite, he completely fell apart. He snapped, telling Hegseth that kindergartners can give me a yes or no, and then aggressively demanded his resignation, calling him an embarrassment and telling him to get the hell out. Think about the sheer hypocrisy and weakness of that display. Is that what passes for congressional oversight now? If you can't out-argue a conservative nominee on policy, you just scream that they're incompetent and tell them to quit? It is an embarrassing theatrical tantrum, and it proved that Carbajal had absolutely nothing of substance in his binder. From a policy perspective, what conservatives should love about Hegseth's performance is his unapologetic defense of American interests. He didn't flinch when pressed on regional conflicts or defense spending. Instead, he continually steered the focus back to a fundamental question: what is it worth to ensure American security and stop hostile regimes? This video captures the exact moment where Representative Carbajal loses his temper and demands the Secretary's resignation during the House Armed Services Committee budget hearing.